The horns blared, tires screeched, and pedestrians scattered like frightened chickens. If you lived in Kaduna, there was one sound that made your heart leap into your throat, the roar of Danko's bus engine. Everyone knew Danko. He wasn't just a driver, he was a storm on wheels. His yellow and black painted commuter bus, with "No Fear, No Mercy" boldly written on the front, was as infamous as its owner. Children whispered his name with both awe and fear. Women hissed and spat whenever his bus flew past. Other drivers cursed the very sight of him. Danko was stubborn, ruthless, and uncontrollably reckless. Speed limits meant nothing to him. Traffic lights. Decorative ornaments. Passengers begged him to slow down, but he laughed in their faces, flashing his crooked smile and pressing the accelerator even harder. "Life no one chance," he would yell. "If you dey fear death, no enter my bus." And yet, people still entered. Because Danko's bus was always the fastest. He could cover a route in half the time, making traders and workers desperate to reach their destinations on time flock to him. For Danko, driving wasn't just a job. It was a battle, a war against rules, against caution, against the very idea of slowing down. But behind the roaring laughter and arrogance, Danko carried a dark pride. He had never crashed. "Road no fit kill me," he boasted one evening at the motor park. His fellow drivers shook their heads. "No me be Danko. Driver we no dey fear trailer, tanker, or police." That boast would follow him like a curse. The elders say, when the lizard nods its head too often, the earth will soon answer with silence. Danko's arrogance was beginning to test fate. One hot afternoon, Danko sped down Omadu Bello Way, overtaking cars as if the road belonged to him alone. His passengers screamed as he swerved past a fuel tanker. A little girl by the roadside dropped her sachet of pure water, her eyes wide with terror as Danko's bus barely missed her. At the next stop, an old woman refused to enter his bus. She pointed her wrinkled finger at him and said, "Young man, stubborn goat dey enter soup pot. You dey run from life, but life go catch you." The passengers laughed nervously. Danko laughed the loudest. "Mama, abeg carry your prophecy go church. No me be king of this road." But that night, Danko had a dream. He saw himself driving through endless darkness, his bus full of faceless passengers. No matter how fast he pressed the accelerator, the road stretched on. Suddenly, a massive truck with no headlights appeared out of nowhere. There was a deafening crash, and Danko woke up sweating. For the first time in years, he felt fear. But by morning, the fear was gone. He shook it off, muttering, "No dream. Dream no dey kill Danko." The following week, strange things began to happen. His brakes failed once while descending a hill, yet somehow, he managed to avoid disaster. A boy selling groundnuts narrowly escaped being crushed under his bus tires. Police officers began to stop him more often, warning him to slow down. But Danko's stubbornness was stronger than any warning. "No dem jealous me," he told himself. Nobody fit stop Danko. He didn't know life was already sharpening its claws. The sun was setting, painting the Kaduna sky in shades of gold and blood. Danko had one last trip to make before retiring for the day. His bus was full, as usual. Traders with heavy baskets, office workers eager to reach home, and schoolchildren returning late. "Driver, abeg no rush today oh," a young mother begged, her baby tied to her back. Danko smirked. "Madam, no rushing dey make life sweet. Hold your pikin tight." He pressed the accelerator, and the bus leapt forward like a beast unleashed. The road ahead was unusually busy. Trucks, motorcycles, and buses jostled for space. But Danko, blinded by pride, decided to overtake them all. He swerved recklessly, his horn blaring like a war trumpet. Then it happened. Out of nowhere, a heavily loaded trailer lost control, its brakes screaming. It veered into Danko's lane. The passengers in his bus screamed. Time seemed to slow. Danko's hands shook on the steering wheel. For the first time in his life, he realized he could not outdrive fate. The crash was thunderous. Metal crumpled, glass shattered, screams pierced the air. Danko's bus spun like a toy before smashing into a ditch. Dust rose. Silence followed. When rescuers arrived, blood and cries filled the scene. Several passengers were dead. Others groaned in pain, their bodies broken. And Danko, once the fearless king of the road, leaping under the steering wheel, his leg crushed, blood pouring from his head. As they dragged him out, his eyes fluttered open. The young mother with the baby was dead beside him. The same old woman he mocked earlier stood among the crowd, shaking her head sadly. Life don't catch you, Danko, she murmured. Danko survived, but he would never walk again. His driving days were over. In the hospital, he wept not only for his shattered body but for the innocent lives lost because of his arrogance. From that day, whenever people in Kaduna spoke of reckless drivers, they whispered his name as a warning, remember Danko. Pride goeth before a fall. Please like and follow for more.